In today's video, we're going to be trying to beat the hardest AI the game can offer while also using no downforce, of course 0-0 wing, maximum top speed, minimum grip. Can we take on the challenge? Can we beat the AI or will we get defeated? Let's get into the heart of the video and straight into the action. So here we are on the grid at Singapore underneath the spotlights for one of my favorite tracks on the F1 calendar. For today's setup, of course, the main highlight is going to be the 0-0 wing, but filtering through the rest of the pages, feel free to take the setup and do this exact challenge yourself at home if you would like to do so as well. Be sure to comment down below your finishing position if you do the challenge. With that being said, this is my strategy, starting on the medium compound tire and going to softs later in the race with 30.6 kg of fuel, purely because I want the softs at the end of the race to be making overtakes with. Lights are coming on, a big hold for the lights actually, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go here in Singapore, getting a decent start. Stroll's got an absolute rocket. We need to take a big risk and send up the inside of the AI, and just about getting over the inside curb cleanly without picking up damage. And now going through the first sequence, a little bit of contact actually with my teammate there, but able to get away with it. Looking for a strong exit onto the back straight, able just to get up the inside of two cars there with Ocon and Piastri. Can we use the overtake button to be picking off these Haas cars as well down the inside? And we have been able to be a rocket in a straight line, wheel-to-wheel contact as we bottomed out over the curbing there, but just about able to be picking up the position. Yes, like I say, just got a bit caught out with the car bottoming out over the curbing, making wheel-to-wheel contact with Magnussen. So it was a little bit naughty and a little bit aggressive, but you know what? We'll take the position and try to run with it. As we have Yuki Tsunoda up ahead. We're going to try and go around the outside of him actually, purely opportunistic. And now we're going to be using our straight line speed advantage. Look at the rocket ship of a car in a straight line. We're going to go for around the outside again and just try to get back on the power. Really critical that we keep up in the DRS of Ricardo, because I don't know how this is going to perform on the pace relative to the AI over the course of a stint, and how their soft tyres could be doing compared to my medium tyres right now. I did do a few laps just to warm up in time trial because, yeah, this is going to be a difficult car to drive and a difficult challenge to do as we go wide at turn 1. Luckily not picking up a warning though, as now we need to have a good exit to be staying in the DRS, and we will stay in the DRS of Daniel Ricciardo up ahead of us. And now DRS wide open, using hot lap down the straight to try and just close in. Actually going to be using overtake button because we are going to be only 7/10 behind him, and I think in the middle sector we're going to be dropping a lot of performance, and it's going to be pretty touch and go to staying in the DRS or not of the cars up ahead of us. Through the left-hander, back on the power. Oh, you can see the rear tyres just fighting. As I was saying earlier, I think this car is going to be pretty difficult to drive over the whole racing stint, so did do a few laps just to warm up and get a feeling for the downforce and the package that we have underneath us. Not in the DRS detection zone. I thought we was always underneath 1 second in the bridge section, but clearly not. As we go down through the right hander, back on the power. And you can see, we're just not closing in on the cars ahead. And on pretty much every other challenge we've done on F1 24 so far, we've been able to relatively easy close in on the cars ahead, but seemingly this challenge might be making a whole new level of difficulty for us in the F1 24 game. Picking Singapore today because of course it was between Singapore or Monaco we're doing this challenge on, and I think Singapore just offers a bit more raceability. I think Monaco would have been very challenging as well, but it would have been very difficult to sort of have fun and battle with the AI. Whereas I feel like here today on Singapore, we have a few straights that are long enough for our low wing configuration to make a big difference, but equally enough corners as well that the AI will be taking a huge advantage from actually having downforce on the car, as we're starting to get into a good flow right now. and we are using only mechanical grip in today's car, so we have to be quite careful with that as the tyres start to degrade away as the stint goes on. Of course, Singapore being one of the highest tyre wear circuits on the whole Formula 1 calendar. A lot more thermal deg, to be honest, than most other tracks. Of course, it's just so hot, and the tyres always get punished around here. You can see up ahead that Alpine has lost DRS to the cars ahead of him, what means we might be able to sort of gather up some positions as AI start to fight amongst themselves. That's not good, though, for our opportunity to try and win today's race. But in all honesty, I think winning today's race might be a stretch too far, as the leaders are already going into turn 1 as we pick up our first corner cut warning of the race here, going on to lap 4. And seemingly we just don't have the pace to be climbing all over the back of the AI and to be making up those seconds per lap that we desperately need to be doing in order to win the race. Let's see though, strange things can happen, and our pace might be scintillating once we put on the soft compound tyres later in the race. But so far, apart from lap 1 overtakes, we haven't been able to do anything to get past Ricciardo, running a bit wide there. Very lucky not to pick up corner cut warning, and that would have put us on 2 invalidations, and of course 3 invalidations within the F1 24 game gives you a 3-second time penalty. Going underneath the bridge, we should definitely be within DRS detection on this lap though. Nice over the inside curve, was able to float over it up to 4th, as you can see, getting the car slowed down. We are in the DRS detection zone, and nice and close to Ricciardo. Trying to use a bit of overtake button to stay nice and close here, and I reckon we can try and overtake on this next long straight if we stay nice and close. We're going to be just about underneath 3/10 away, using a lot of the overtake button. You can see we are a rocket in a straight line, going around the outside, leaving the space on the apex. We're really critical to be good on the exit, and we were not good on the exit. We made a big mess of that one, and that's going to put us at risk from dropping out of the DRS of Carlos Sainz. We need a phenomenal first 6 corners here. Going through the first apex, going through the second, trying to throw the car into the left, and we really need that DRS detection for the rest of the race now. And we are just about going to get it as we get a second corner cut warning, and of course 1 more corner cut warning equals a 3-second time penalty. And that is not good for our race now. As you can see, AI fighting up ahead, and that is very good for our race. That's going to give us the opportunity to close back in, and that is Russell. So that's P6. It's running Russell, Gasly, Hamilton, Sainz, myself, Ricciardo, Tsunoda. And up ahead of Russell seems to be a big gap forming to P5 and the cars ahead of that. So realistically, it's going to be quite difficult to catch those cars unless we could do something good on the strategy. Because yeah, I feel like our pace is pretty strong, our pace is pretty decent. It's just very hard to do anything with this wing configuration to be overtaking cars efficiently. And yeah, in many ways, like I say, I think I've met my match with the challenges in F1 24, and this might be one of the hardest challenges in terms of raw pace trying to win the race. I think even with a 100% distance race, it would take a bit of luck with safety cars to be able to convincingly win this challenge against the hardest AI in the game. But to be honest, I actually really enjoy that. I enjoy not being able to beat the AI easily. I think it's quite unsatisfying in many ways when you can just take the slowest car and beat the AI super easy. So I'm having a lot of fun on the F1 game actually at the moment. Even doing the career mode series, doing these challenges, just putting a situation that I have to push super hard to even have a chance of beating the 110% AI makes it quite enjoyable for me and quite satisfying to drive as well. So with that being said, we're going to get back into the heart of this stint. Lap 6 in this race, 10 laps to go. A lot of people up ahead on the soft compound tyre, what means they're going to be opening their pit window pretty soon, and that was not good. And that, okay, we're just in the DRS detection again. You can see just how easy it is to lose the car in this condition with this grip setup, or lack of grip setup I should be saying, going into the right-hander. because it's all mechanical grip. It's all mechanical grip around here now. So if you have a slight moment with the tyres locking or sliding or just losing grip over the curb, it is exaggerated way more than it normally would be because you have no downforce to be saving you, or you have minimal downforce to be saving you anyway. Coming onto the pitch straight, what I think I'm going to start doing is saving up my battery just a little bit so then I can have better in and out laps versus the AI, because it's very unlikely that I'm able to overtake these AI very, very convincingly at the moment, and I feel it's going to be costing me a lot more in my total race time. George Russell is sort of escaping up the road at the moment, and I feel like unless something spectacular happens with AI fighting up ahead, I'll go... Whoa, what happened there?
Got that confirmed.
What? Why did that just come up randomly? Okay. What did they confirm? Right. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I need to start focusing again. Right. So, I think I was talking about George Russell and not being able to catch not being able to catch him in an easy way. To be honest, my train of thought was completely lost in that moment. Like, the button just randomly started pressing stuff on its own and selected something with the engineer. Okay, well, anyway, the cars are starting to peel into the pit lane. You can see we have Gasly, who stayed out on track up ahead. What's going to be quite difficult if we do not stay within his DRS.
Joe's in the pits. That's Joe in the pits now.
Right, so you can see we're just at the fringes of the DRS, 9/10. Are we going to be staying within the DRS detection of Pierre Gasly? I think we did. We did indeed. And that is pivotal for our race to be maximising our in-laps here. Of course, lap 8 of the race, we're going to be planning to box on lap 9. But just a few temps extra free from the DRS detection is going to be making all the difference later in the race. Bottoming out on that inside curbing and able just to run off the track without picking up an invalidation. Of course, avoiding that 3-second penalty is oh so critical. Running a bit of battery down here, just trying to make sure we can keep DRS on Pierre Gasly as we're going to be going over the bridge here, and of course trying to meet that detection point. The car sliding around, happened to use quite a lot of car control here. You can see we were able to stay in the DRS detection. DRS wide open now. We're not going to be overtaking Pierre on this lap unless he makes a big mistake, what I don't think he will. And now we're going to be going at least till lap 9, and I think we will have a lap of completely clean air down into third gear over the inside curbing and able to close in quite a lot actually. And Pierre Gasly is going to be boxing. In fact, all the AI are going to be boxing, and we're going to get a nice cheeky helping of the DRS detection.
Okay, we're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Copy that, Jeff, or Matt, or whatever your name is. Can't remember. What was his name? Mark? I think it's Mark. Copy that, Mark. And now Max Verstappen actually has the fastest lap of the race, followed by Lando Norris, Alex Albon. And now this has been a good lap from us so far. One of our better laps of the race, actually. It's just so difficult. Get the traction down on the car. Really interested to see where we come out in this race. That was close to the wall. And even more closer to pick up a penalty, actually. That was close to the wall again. Just trying to rag any performance we can out of this car. Nice and high on the battery. We've actually gained fuel during this race.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach, and make sure you don't speed.
Mate, you're getting a bit annoying now. How do I,
And Verstappen's behind.
Why?
They're on fresh mediums.
Why are you pressing random buttons? I did not ask for the driver behind. I want less updates. And now through the left hand, getting into pit lane. Right, slow the car down just about. Right, where's my engineer? I want the engineer to be saying nothing for me for the rest of the race. No radio, rest of the race. Right, coming in, we need the ideal pit stop. We did get the optimal one, putting the soft compound tyres on. And now, going to be trying to release as we're going to be coming out of pit lane. So George Russell is past us. Lewis Hamilton will be past us, but
Look
not
after
by
these
far.
tyres now. It won't finish the
no
race
updates.
on this compound.
Please. And we are just about keeping it in the pit lane window. I think we did go over, but luckily the game didn't recognize it. And now we are up ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. So we actually did not lose positions to him in that situation, which is very, very, very optimal. DRS wide open right. So
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 23.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're currently 17th place. Your last lap time, 1:31.0.
I didn't ask that. I want you to stop talking, man. Please.
Okay, copy that.
Okay, there we go. Finally we got it. After a bit of an argument with Mark or Jeff, whatever the name is. We're not going to be picking up DRS to science. Spent too much time arguing with... That was a wall. Anyway, we need to get our head back in the game. Refocus now. We've got 2.3 seconds to Carlos Sainz. And, yeah. The engineer was not my best friend on that situation. And now coming towards the end of our first completed lap on the soft, we did a purple final sector. A bit wide at turn 1. Somehow we got away with that though. I was fully expecting to be picking up a time penalty. And now through the right hander, back on the power. 2 temps up on our delta. Let's see what we can do in the middle sector. I'm quite interested to see if we can do a fastest lap or not. Purple, sector 1. That was kind of to be expected with the straight line speed we have. But let's see if we can be competitive in the middle sector. That was nice. The car rotated sweetly over the inside curbing. Again, that was pretty good. Up to 80% on the battery. 2 laps extra of fuel right now. And yeah, I definitely could have started with considerably less fuel in the car for today's race. But, oh well, live and you learn. I will never be doing this challenge again because the car is a boat. But if you want to do a challenge, take note, start with much less fuel than I did. Green middle sector. Right, let's see what we can do with 2-3 temps up on our delta compared to our fastest lap time of the race. Let's see what we can do through the chicane. Lando Norris is a 29.1. We weren't a little bit light. We are closing in to Carlos Sainz. We're half a second up on our delta. Make that 6 temps through the final corner. And we don't do the fastest lap.
Some information on Magnussen for you. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Please, engineer. I just want to drive. Please.
Understood. Copy that.
Yes, thank you. Copy that. No more radio. Rest of the race. Right, close the gap down to 1.6 seconds at the end of the middle sector on lap 12. Of course, these softs are going to degrade very, very, very quickly. And we need to get in that DRS and start overtaking before that happens. We're already quite high on the wear. Into chicane, a bit deep. But able to recover a lot of that lap time. Just by using the mechanical grip of the tyre, basically. We're already at 0.8. Our previous lap was at 0.2. Admittedly, we did use a little bit more battery on that lap, but shows how quickly the tyres really degrade around this track. 1.6 seconds to Yuki Tsunoda. Big snap of oversteer there. 1.6 seconds for Carlos Sainz. I think my target is to go and get points in this race. I think that's realistic. With the gap and the tyres degrading, I don't think it's going to be easy. But I think getting points is the most realistic target we can look for. With that being said, though, I do think we are going to need some luck. Right, 30.4. We've lost another, like, 4 tenths. No, 6 tenths from previous lap. So I think, to be honest, unless the AI really start to fight each other, we're more going to be looking behind us than we're going to be looking ahead of us. Already 28% on that front right tyre. As now Ocon is all over the back of us. We're having to use our overtake button, and he is going to be having no ability to overtake us down the straight purely because of our straight line speed. So that is an early indication, providing that we can keep the battery high as we do a big slide into the apex. Providing we can keep the battery high and we don't make mistakes, we should just about be able to hold on against Esteban Ocon. That being said, though, it won't be easy as my tyres will continue to fade going into the final lap of the race. He looked down the inside and we were just able to carry momentum around to not give him that opportunity. Ocon, Yuki, I think that's going to be Hulkenberg as well, are all closing into the back of us. And we are going to be on the defensive class for the final lap of the race. Up to 2.2 extra laps of fuel. Far from optimal. To be honest, the fuel I don't think would have made that much of a difference in terms of the finishing result for today. Would have given us a little bit more performance on raw lap time, but apart from that, nothing really else doing. As you can see, 1 tenth behind going into the first sector. Having to be right on the limit of the white line. That couldn't have been any closer to picking up a corner cut warning. Of course, one more corner cut warning, and that'll be leading to a 3-second time penalty. Through the right hander, back on the power, using the overtake button. Is Ocon going to be closing into us? He is going to be closing into us. He clearly has the overtake button himself, and now we're going to be staying defensive, but just not able to draw alongside us to be challenge us fully going into the corner. You can see on the exit we are parking the bus, not on purpose, just by the pure pace that we have, and we cannot go any faster. We do not have any more traction, we don't have any more grip, but we do have 40% battery and a car that is an absolute demon in a straight line. Through the right, back over the power, fourth, and you can see over the bridge there, big mistake, blocking back on the curb, and that almost put us into the wall on the outside line. We've lost 4 seconds to Carlos Sainz, and now Ocon has the DRS wide open, too far away from us though. Be challenging as we go into the right hander, building back up on the power, and now using the rest of our overtake button. Lando Norris has won the race. That shows how far behind the AI we actually are. That's got to be like at least 15-20 seconds behind the AI, and we have never been that far behind in a challenge before on this series, but shows the difficulty of having 0-0 wing.
What a shame, just no pace.
Yeah, no pace indeed, absolutely no pace. Cool. That was difficult, but still driving a day though. Driving a day, even while having no downforce. Concluding the race, 18 seconds off the race victory of Lando Norris. And yeah, that was by far the most difficult challenge I've done on F1 24. So that's a wrap on using no wings around Singapore. And yeah, I got absolutely destroyed by the AI on this challenge. But hopefully you enjoyed the video nevertheless, and I don't think I'm ever going to want to use no wings on F1 24 again. I've been Brendon Leigh, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Grazie, ciao ciao, bye bye.